Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to Friday Night Talks, episode 4. We got Jack with us today, but Jack Miller.
So, man,
Sorry, that was delayed. That was fucking delayed.
Any need to say his surname? Any need?
yeah, can you not? Cheers, lad.
I had to make
Guess
sure
we'll put
people
the
knew,
dress out there.
I had to make sure people knew. I could mean Jack Kempson,
Is that about
DJ Kemmer.
48 shout-outs?
Jack Kempson. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you don't know. Might
That
be.
name.
I mean, I do know because I'm here.
Anyway, that's besides the point. We're talking about films.
Yes, we are. We are
Jack
indeed.
Miller.
Alright. What we're starting off with.
Alright, I'm gonna start out with a question. We're not gonna like balls deep into like the whole kind of arguing stuff, which is inevitable. I'm gonna say, what's your favorite childhood film? Childhood one, not now. Child.
Okay. One that I haven't watched in a long time, actually. It's like The Magic Roundabout, I think it's called.
Jesus Christ.
I was mentioning that the other day.
It's a good movie. I can't lie. It's oh, it's magic. You know, like you can't go wrong with it. You can't go wrong. So I mean, now I feel like a fucking idiot. Adam, your go.
No, that's a great review on Magic Roundabout, man. You just burst into song.
Yeah, it's just a banging movie.
I haven't really. I thought of the question, but I didn't really think of an answer. Childhood film.
Mine was easy off the top of my head.
I'm gonna say Chicken Little.
I've seen that once. Not even all of it.
For me, that's what the film that like evokes the most nostalgia, like the music in it, the songs in it, and the fact that it's just on about like some loser chicken dude, and then aliens invade, and there's like a really like.
So basically, the story of your life.
Basically, there's a stupid fish in it. Some aliens invade. It's like a fluffy orange thing. That's just
It's
a pretty
like
fun
a fluffy
ride.
orange thing.
Have you ever watched it? Like,
I've only watched half of it. I don't know what the storyline
we'll do a film review next week.
We'll do a film review of each of our childhood films. Jack, what's yours, mate?
Like that, I'm uncomfortable now, Jack.
I don't really have one. I don't really watch films.
And this guy's about to say Star Wars.
the
It probably
film that
would be, to be fair. That's like one of the
nostalgia.
first films I actually ever watched.
I
'Cause
mean,
my dad just put it on me when I was a kid. So
I was gonna say Iron
I
Man.
would probably say Star
Watch
Wars.
that in the cinema. But of that later. Anyway,
right. Okay.
off with our first.
We've done our childhood favorite movie. What's your favorite movie right now? That no matter what it was, you could just be like this movie here, this movie, I can watch.
First. Mate.
Yeah, what you go, Jack?
Wait, what? Is it me? Oh, okay. I'd probably have to say, Endgame. Probably.
Oh, that's a solid move.
Either Endgame or Infinity War.
Infinity War is a better film, but Endgame, it's just feels.
It feels like it was the end. That's you know what, we'll talk about that in a minute. Moving on, Adam, what's your favorite movie of right now?
Favorite film. Point. It's either Saving Private Ryan or
I've never
Joker.
seen that. I've never seen either of those.
Private Ryan. It's a war film, but it's just done so well in Spielberg, and it's just I don't know the reality of it and the kind of hard hitting.
Yeah.
This is war. Oh crap! Like you feel like you're in war, and then Joker's just oh my god.
I still haven't seen it. I need to.
I haven't actually seen Joker.
Got Joker on DVD, so
Oh, fair enough.
Splendid.
Right. Mine, as we all know, SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie, Sponge Out of the Water.
That is a good film. Actually.
It is a very good film. That's not actually my answer. My answer would be.
Sponge Out of the Water one is not good. The first one's the good one.
Yeah,
Sponge Out of Water is banging.
Sponge Out of Water is okay.
Sponge Out of Water is when I was like 12. I was too cool for SpongeBob at that
What's
point.
that new one that's coming out?
I don't know, but I know which one you're on about. It's coming out.
Cool.
Oh, it's when Gary goes missing again. Yeah. Just like that episode they did about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Eric, can't you see? I was wrong. Something. Now you're gone.
Nah, I think I'd have to go with Transformers: The Last Night because I've watched that so many times, like
Wish I
so many
hadn't watched that.
times. What do you mean? It's great.
Yeah, that's.
We're gonna hop right into Transformers then.
Okay.
I get the ball rolling by saying the last night. I really like films and I appreciate film. That film I felt every single minute of. I've never felt like the sheer time scale of a film.
I mean, I disliked the film, but I didn't dislike it that much. Like, I
I
still
love it.
enjoyed it.
Out of all of them, I think it has the like it was the first time you saw in the Transformers saga where it was like the human had more power than the Transformers did. Because
Yeah, they got them all in like custody and stuff, haven't they?
yeah, and they've got and even then like when Cade, the main character, has the sword or the talisman as it's called, and then it turns into the sword. It's like, okay, you're a human. Why have you got that? But after the movie, it was like, that's why. That's what makes it so much better because it's like, okay, we made this entire saga on how these big, you know, massive machines with guns from another planet are so much stronger than us, but they can very, very quickly be like beaten by not beaten as in like an actual fight, but like in heroism as much as Cade holding a sword that's made out of some ancient metal from a different planet, like that grew from his arm because he had something on. Like I don't know, it's just was one of the best moments that I've seen.
I appreciate that moment of kind of like saying, the most unlikely of heroes can defeat the most,
The
clever.
biggest of
It
enemies,
really took 5 films to get there. Only problem,
yeah.
because only problem with Transformers is that I watched 1, 2, and then I watched Age of Extinction,
Mm.
then watched last night. I watched bits of Bumblebee and I like Bumblebee, but
Bumblebee's cool, but
the problem I have with it is that it got too much after a while. It's like, okay, the Decepticons, they come down, it's Megatron, okay, Optimus Prime's dead, okay, he's not dead, he's just gonna
Too
keep fighting
repetitive.
people.
yeah,
It's just too much of the
they
same
do run
thing.
out of you know of
Like, I'm pretty
ideas
sure
quick.
that Megatron has been a compelling villain in like all of the films,
In some way, I think I
except
actually know.
except for
Last
Bumblebee.
night is literally the
Well, the last
In
night
the last
actually
night,
wasn't, was it?
he's not the main villain, but he's
yeah, but he's why the villain's there.
yeah.
Yeah.
The root
He,
of the
he plays a
villain.
big
It all
Even
role
then,
comes
no,
back
it's
to him.
not, is it?
as the
Because
antagonist in all.
in the end of Transformers 4, which is I can't remember which one, Age of Extinction,
The extinction.
he goes at the end to try and find his creator, finds Metal Lass on Cybertron. I can't remember her name.
I know what it is, yeah.
Quintessa.
What?
It's Quintessa, isn't it?
Yeah, Quintessa. She turns Optimus like against the humans, being like, okay, they destroyed like the planet, and then found out that Earth was Unicron, that they were gonna crash into each other. That bit was like, what? Like of all the Transformers series, it was like, okay, these Transformers just came to this random planet that we happen to be on, but then it was like, the planet's alive. What the hell? Like,
Mm.
like it's not a
Gone a
planet,
bit weird.
no, you know. But
Got all Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on this bitch.
yeah, literally. But it's Quintessa was such a to put it, she was crap. She she failed very very quickly. Like she came
I
down
think
just like oh
I think
didn't work.
Lockdown was a good villain in Age of Extinction.
Mm. Ow! I got a
Never liked
bracelet on and it
Lockdown.
keeps
He
attacking me.
could do.
Hey, I'll give it where it's deserved. Like Grimlock.
Grimlock's great. That was one of the best parts of that movie for me.
Unnecessarily dramatic. Like it's like, okay, not only is he an alien, can turn into like whatever, he's made of metal. Also transforms into a dinosaur. It's like what?
Yeah, you know when you see Optimus
Like,
Yeah, but
riding.
I think they ruined him in the last one because they had him like coughing up cars and shit.
Well, no, because that was a very that kind of showed that the dinosaurs didn't actually know what like at all. Like the Autobots, the Decepticons, they were cognitive. They knew everything that basically they were metal humans. They could do what they wanted to do. But the dinosaurs
Yeah,
were
but
prehistoric.
yeah, but the things that turn into the dinosaurs are supposed to be like really ancient and powerful people. And I feel like they should just know not to eat cars.
Well, I mean, I suppose they have to stick to originality. Of like, it's a dinosaur. It's not going to be able to, fluently
Yeah.
It's for the
speak or anything.
comedic value, Jack.
Yeah,
Children don't know the lore of this. That's the thing.
Yeah, but like,
Day,
that's a
most
uh,
good
of these
point.
films that we're going to be talking about are kids' films.
Yeah, and especially for Transformers, you have to know the lore behind it. Otherwise, most of it doesn't make sense. Like, if
yeah,
you don't watch
Just
them
yeah,
in order and
cars
go,
being
okay, this
involved,
happened because
and they
this
do it that way.
happened, you're lost.
yeah.
You know.
And that I'm pretty into like that scene where he's coughing the car up. That's like the only
Hmm.
screen time he gets the whole film.
Yeah, actually, it is. Yeah, he he eats the police car and then like coughs it up, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Oh no, he smashes
That's the police
into the
car.
bunch of police that were coming to take
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
Autobots away.
That's
But
basically it. So, if they'd have backed it up with another scene where he's
hmm.
doing something that's not stupid, I feel like it'd have redeemed
He may
for
have
him
been
more.
in the final scene. I can't remember. He might have been. In the final fight, he
Mm.
may have been there, but I don't remember seeing him.
I can't remember seeing him. I
Right.
can only remember
Anyway,
Optimus and
that's a lot of time on Transformers. So, you guys told me that you were talking about Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
yeah,
And this is the point I've always stood to. Marvel make
Oh
better
god.
movies. DC make better
DC make
TV
better
shows.
TV shows.
yes,
Simple
but
as.
Disney
But the
Plus is
thing is,
Hmm.
Disney Plus is about to clean swipe CW. I'm
yeah.
afraid, because
Marvel is about to
basically
knock
making mini
DC out of
movies
the
in a
park
show.
with Disney Plus series.
CW can have as many character developments as they want. If they've not got the CGI to back it up, viewers will just be like, okay, I'm gone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
That's the way I've always felt about CW. I like the shows, but the CGI is laughable, and it kind of takes away the serious element for me.
though
yeah.
the reason I like the TV shows, and the reason I personally think that there will still be that like connection where it's like, okay, well, that DC is going to have that advantage is that with Marvel they started with movies and they had a very good set of movies, and then we're like, okay, we'll make them into TV shows.
Mm.
Or the ECU were made as TV shows. There weren't movies before them. And they're completely separate from the DC movies. They're like a different universe. So, well, actually, not now,
All interconnected now, anyway.
but it's that they made themselves. They made their entire existence off of themselves, not like the show WandaVision. I'm very excited. That's a great show, and I want to see that. That's something I want to see, and it's a great idea. But if you look at like Arrow or well, especially Arrow now that it's finished after 13 years,
But it started like 2011.
just 13 if I remember, because they did it from.
Not here in like 2007.
Oh, I found out. I found out.
Good Barrow. No way it aired like 2007. Because, because Flash wasn't long
It aired
after
in
it.
2012.
Season 1.
October 2012.
This hasn't been 8 years. I know it was above 10.
It wasn't.
I'm wrong. Don't listen to me.
Google must be lying then. Lad.
I liked The Flash. I watched the first couple of seasons of that.
Yeah,
Into
yeah.
that.
I'm gonna admit I've never actually seen any of it.
Well, basically, whoa, what's going on here? What's gone off?
Yeah.
What did he see?
Sorry, my computer froze. I don't know whether
the-
you guys have just seen that in the recording. For some reason, my computer just froze. I looked up and it was everything was paused and I couldn't hear you guys. So there may be a little bit of a hiccup in the recording. Just oh well. I mean, it's still recording now. We're still, good and running now, but oh well.
Yeah.
Anyway, but even then, like, it's gone from, instead of it being like this big movie franchise and then going, okay, you want more, we'll give you more. It's like they built themselves from the ground up going, okay, it's a guy who dresses in green with a bow and arrow. You don't like it? Who cares? And they managed to get, like, I know the Flash now, every single like episode has within a week has over 1 million watches on it, which is mad in a week. It's just kind of mad to me.
I think
Yeah, well, if you
DC
think
played it
about how
well.
long those series have been going on, they're going to come to an end soon, and that's when Marvel is going to come in and just take their spot at top of TV series.
Well, they have introduced new ones now because the original ones were, so the progression went from Arrow, then the Flash, then Supergirl, then DC Legends of Tomorrow, and then they introduced like there's Black Lightning,
There's
Stargirl,
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. There's
Titans.
soon to be Green Lantern.
Oof, that film. Oof.
He's being recast.
But he's being
Batman.
recast into a TV show, not a movie, which is.
But she was already in the
awesome.
TV show. But my point is, like, the actress who played her in Crisis on Infinite Earths and the season 1 of Batwoman. Yeah, she's quit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was so annoyed at that.
Batwoman, like, okay.
And the only time we see Batman in that entire thing is on a different Earth when he's gone insane and killed the Joker. And
Is
he's
that
old.
the Kevin Conroy one?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, mate. I'm not good with actors.
Don't know who Kevin Conroy is.
No.
The guy who like does the voice acting for like every Batman ever.
Probably.
Arkham, Batman the
Yeah,
Brave and the Bold. He's got like the weird like braces on, like the weird like
Yeah,
stuff on. Yeah, and then he dies. Lucky.
But yeah, I if we were gonna talk about that, the thing is with those shows is, if we're not comparing like the whole of Marvel to the whole of DC here, just the TV shows, the soon Disney Plus, and what already exists of the ECU.
Well, yeah, but you can't really compare that.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
comparing
you
it saying like
that, yeah.
DC's better because we haven't seen Marvel, we don't know yet. But those, or the TV shows that are coming to Disney Plus, they're not running alongside each other in the same timeline, where it's like, okay, they can have crossovers like they do in ECU. Like,
Yeah, but people don't want crossovers.
exactly, but that's
like
what that's the difference between Marvel, like the Marvel TV shows that are coming and the DC ones, is that you get to see all the heroes band up in a TV show style, which is like 4 episodes long, instead of it being in a movie or having the TV shows after but never being able to see all the characters together again. Like with the ECU, they can cross over as many times as they so want.
But it's going to be so many times before people get sick of it, and they can still cross over in films anyway, like 1 million times. That's what they're going to do. They're going, to, like Avengers 5, and they're going to make 1 million Avengers films. They're going to milk it for all it's got. But his Endgame, biggest crossover event of all time, and people lapped it up.
Oh yeah, obviously, and DC will never be able to top that. But that's because they knew that their TV shows were going well, and they didn't want to veer off. Because yes, there's like the Justice League. That movie was trash.
I could talk all day about Justice League. And
found out something. I didn't know whether you guys knew this, but God, I'm gonna have to remember Henry Cavill, Superman, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a when he was playing Superman in Justice League.
Mustache.
His mustache,
CGI.
yeah, it was CGI'd off.
Because
Impossible. Which
chin looked so bad
I
in the
watched
film.
it again after finding that out, and every time he came on screen, I was like, "Oh my God!"
The CG was. What happened was Zack Snyder, who's the guy who made Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. He was planning like a dark universe. Like I'm sure you've all heard of the Snyder Cut, Justice League, and how we're finally getting it. Well, he quit mid-filming, and then the guy who made Avengers 1 and 2, Joss Whedon, director of that, he came in and finished off Justice League, and he's the one who made it really camp and dramatic and
Yeah.
silly. He got rid of Darkseid, who's basically DC's Thanos. Got rid of most of the Green Lanterns in the film. He got rid of Martian Manhunter, the Atom, like DCEU, the Atom, and put in
Yeah.
Steppenwolf. And I don't know, DC just had such good start with Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. They actually had my attention, especially Batman
Mm.
vs Superman. Yeah, it was a little bit rushed, but then with Justice League, they kind of thought, "Oh, we're gonna catch up with Marvel," and then make a crossover film, and no one was excited for it because it was kind of like, I don't really care about these characters enough.
Yeah.
Batman died, but we only saw him in one film anyway.
Like okay, if we're going from new, Jason Momoa saved a lot of DC's yeah, their income as well, but like their viewer count just because of Aquaman. Like Aquaman was unbelievably
It's
big,
because he's from Game of Thrones, so everyone's like, "Whoa, Game of Thrones man!"
but it was like even now I like watch anything that he posts and I'm like, this dude's like really fucking cool. Like this dude, I would yes, like you have any movie with him in, yes, I will watch. Like you know what I mean. But that's more me gushing over Jason Momoa now. So.
Yeah, that is, and it's 100% you crushing over Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I think the
But
biggest character DC have to play in the terms of movies now is Wonder Woman. People tend to
I'm not
like
gonna
Wonder Woman
lie,
now.
the Wonder Woman film, I actually enjoyed it.
It's
It's like one
good.
of the
It's good,
few
isn't it?
DC I
They're
actually
making the second one
can
this
sit
year,
through to rip my own eyes out.
1984.
right,
Enjoyed Man of Steel. That one was good.
I don't. I kind of stay away from the Superman and Batman films, but that's just because I don't
Yeah,
like
but
DC.
I like dark superheroes, and they made Zack Snyder was like, okay, we're gonna go for a really dark grunge vibe here. With the new Batman, he was a killer. He killed people. The Superman,
Like,
he literally broke Zod's neck.
yeah.
yeah,
Stop it.
I like the idea of Batman. I just don't like the way that DC executed it.
I think they're gonna do it better with Robert Pattinson. I think he
Mm,
needs to be on his own to be good. Like he can't be in
yeah,
a Justice League.
yeah,
He's so dark and wolf. So if there's other characters there, it kind of makes him seem a bit stupid. It's like, why are you being serious?
yeah.
Everyone's there cracking jokes.
You know the stupid thing right now. I know this. I won't bring it back to the TV shows too much, but it's at the end of. If anyone hasn't watched it, big spoiler. Woo. That's why Arrow's finished. He's
Yeah.
dead. But they made
Stop.
their Justice League. They have a table
Oh yeah, you
that's got a
can't call it
star in the
Justice
middle,
League.
but they can't call it Justice League because it's not in the movies. I did like about that is that they met Ezra Miller Flash while he was going through time, and it was like, dude, your suit's
Yeah.
so cool, and I'm like, whoa.
I like that. I like that they're not just forgetting about Ezra Miller Flash because I like him. Like
He's not
brings
in
a
it
different.
anymore. Barry is the only Flash in the DC universe, in the entire DC
Well, no,
universe.
he's getting a Flash film, Ezra Miller.
That
What,
I
they're
don't
taking
get.
So he got fired from the Flash role, didn't
Yeah,
Got fired from what?
he? He got fired from the Flash role.
yeah, he did.
I didn't hear the second word. Flash
Uh,
role? No,
Yeah,
he's fine. They're making a film in 2022 now.
I
No,
don't think
I
if
thought
they're
Ezra
trying,
Miller got fired.
yeah,
It was over
that's
that
very good fight.
video. It was over that video where he was like beating someone up or something. It was like
Yeah.
a fan. Turns out it was debunked to be fake. Apparently, he's done it in the
Mhm.
past where they're like fake fight or something.
Oh.
Like, they ask him to do it. I don't know, but apparently, like the film's been rescheduled. The Flashpoint film for 2022 or something.
So what I don't get is
They're
that
recasting what's her name? Iris.
they have two different universes going on. They have the ECU and just the general DC universe or the movie universe.
ECEU. Marvel. Marvel.
And
91.
and what I don't get is that they've now merged them. That is physically what they have done. They have merged the two together. Oh, my mouse has been on screen, guys. Oh. Oh well.
Do we
God's
talk? You
sake,
didn't have to
Jamie.
address it.
Nah, they've merged them together. Those universes now merged together. We know that because we see Ezra Miller Flash in the TV show. So they have brought that in. But because they've done that, that Flashpoint movie shouldn't exist because Ezra Miller, like his Flash, it doesn't exist, hasn't existed, and never will exist, because what they did is when they merged them, all the Earths in the Infinite Universe of DC were merged into Earth Prime, meaning that every TV show and movie, if the characters existed, then the storyline existed. But because there's two Flashes, and we still see Barry, Ezra Miller Flash has ceased to exist. He never existed. So those movies are debunked now. They can't actually be true.
And that's what we're gonna call a plot hole.
That's a
what we
very
call
big
an
plot hole.
X-Men problem.
I think they were just doing fan service. I think they were like trying to gain hype and be like, "Oh, look at this teaser of them two meeting," and then everyone's gonna like freak out, and then they didn't really think about actual details of what they themselves had created.
And
Mhm.
the weirdest thing that you've got to think about is all these, like the Justice League, they're all on that Earth. Like the actual Justice League, they are all on there, and they can go
Yeah, everyone's
over
on
there.
there. Titans are on there now.
Yep.
Titans
But
are like Earth 9, Doom Patrol.
if they
They
were
connected now.
what they did with Flashpoint in season 2, end of season 2, when Barry comes back, everything's different, and they just go like, okay, well that's because of Flashpoint. And there was a big cover up because they couldn't fix all the plot holes. It was like, oh, it's Flashpoint. But because they did that, they're now basically done that on a fucking massive scale, where if they were going to stick to it, which they haven't, they would have made it so that every single storyline, as of thus far and so forward, would be different. As I said, Ezra Miller Flash wouldn't exist. There wouldn't be a movie on him because he doesn't exist. He never has existed in that universe now. But the movies still say he does because at that point in time he did exist, and then up to this point now none of them exist. All the Flashes don't exist. It's just Barry. And I think that's where they're gonna try and cover it up. They're gonna try and cover it up by like saying, "Oh no, it doesn't. Time doesn't work like that because it's what they do with everything during time with Flash." Or they're just gonna
That's
leave
what
it.
we call an
I
X-Men.
think they're just not going to address it because people who are going to watch the Flash film most likely haven't seen the Flash TV show.
Yeah.
It's going to be kids, and they're not going to care about plot holes, and no one's going to be like, "Oh, he shouldn't exist." I think they're just going to be like, "Well, they're not connected, but during Crisis, we felt the need to just have them both on."
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because they never actually stated that the people from all the other, like the cinematic universe of DC and the ECU, they're not connected, but they are connected. They're all on the same Earth, but they're not on the same Earth because DC want to make more money. Like,
Make money from different things.
it's like
Different
the companies who own Venom, because I think Sony and there's another company who own Venom as well. Like they own like 5% as well, not this other company. I don't know what their name is, but basically he could never actually be in a Spider-Man movie because he's not in the comics. He's meant to be a villain, but in the Venom movie he's portrayed as a dark hero or an evil hero, and
yeah,
that's never gonna work now.
Definitely be in
the
it.
start of Spider-Man 3,
Definitely
that's
could be
what
in
it's
it.
like.
And even then, if you put them side by side, Eddie Brock would fucking whoop Peter's ass, like completely.
Peter goddamn Parker. No one's stopping him for shit.
No.
Venom can
Parker, I
get
don't
shot
care
in the
what
chest and
fanboy
it
you
doesn't
are
hit
for
Eddie.
Venom.
Man,
His fanboy
Spider-Man
for Venom
literally
so hard.
2v1 Falcon and Bucky. And won.
Yeah, but the brute force of Venom, like Peter could never actually go up against that unless he had the same equivalent kind of like, this is my raw power. Like, yes, he's
symbiote.
well, for starters, yeah,
Weakness.
Venom's an alien. Like, for starters,
It does have a weakness, and it's addressed in the comics and in Spider-Man 3. It's
yes,
the
sound.
sound waves. It just exploit that.
Yeah. obviously that's
Can-
obviously a big point of it, but like I still think that Venom would have no trouble at all. I think it'd be one of those cases, like with uh Homecoming. That to me didn't seem
Man, you
like
better
I
not.
feel like that
You better not
general
have him coming.
that style of movie where it's
Venom
like
is like dangerous.
where at the start it's like, oh dear, oh no, I've been defeated, and then towards the end it's like, I prevail this, and then he wins, and
But
that
like,
doesn't,
Yeah,
in
but
like,
that's character development. It's
yeah, I
not.
know, but it's very similar with pretty much all of superhero movies ever. It's like, oh,
yeah, that's what
I'm
superheroes
not
Yeah,
strong
do.
that's the
enough.
point.
Oh,
Is
I'm
to
strong
show
enough
character
now.
development.
It's character development.
But I
It's
think,
how a
That,
character
in
battles through that.
particular in Spider-Man is because Iron Man said that if he's nothing without the suit, or if he's nothing without the suit, then he shouldn't have it.
mm,
And then he proved that he can be something without the suit, so he can now, use it. He's not dependent on the suit
We're all
anymore.
doing the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. It's the same character development for all of them, but it's for a different reason.
yeah,
They
yeah.
all find a different reason worth fighting for.
I
I think that's
think,
why people like Spider-Man.
if there was to
Mm.
be a Spider-Man X like team up or versus Venom movie, it would very much be Venom absolutely claps the crap out of Peter, and he is just left broken, and then he has to come back from that and then go up against him again, or it's going to be Peter's broken down, then him and or they have a fight at the start, then towards the end they have to team up to take out a bigger evil. And I think that's might be where they actually go with it, because that's the only real way I can see it working.
I don't think they're going to use that Venom. I think that's just going to remain that Venom verse. And then if they do introduce Venom in the MCU, they're just going to recast him.
Because Eddie
Alas,
Brock actually exists in the Marvel universe. He actually is a character, but you don't. He's spoken about, but you never actually see him, obviously. But he is actually a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But
I think
he's
it'll be
not
Tom
Venom.
Hardy, and it won't be the same Venom. It won't be. If they probably are going to use Venom eventually because they're going to run out of characters.
Yeah.
They'll just straight up clean swipe it. They'll be like, okay, this Venom does this, that Venom does that. That's Sony's Venom. They want their Venom to be the hero.
Yeah.
Our Venom is the villain. Because the whole
I
point is that they work together.
I really like, for a next step in Spider-Man, I want, because how many movies does he have left? I don't know how many he actually has left.
I think he has like and just a
He has
lot
one
more. I
more
think he has
team
like
up movie, and then another solo, doesn't he? And then he has to get a new contract with
more
him.
than that. I would have signed more than his
No, because he's
60
got the
contract.
same length as can't remember his name, person who plays Hulk.
Ruffalo.
Yeah. So Mark, it's the same kind of contract with him because he's still got one team up movie and then he hasn't got any more solos. Spider-Man's got the Spider-Man contract's got one more team up movie and a solo movie, and then he has to renew his contract. If I remember, that's what I remember reading on
Hard to
IGN.
say, regardless, anyway, because you're just going to renew it. People will just be
Yeah.
like, okay, we want more Spider-Man.
But I want
think we'll
something
just
that
get
they've
loads of
actually
solos.
added into the Insomniac Spider-Man game for PS4. Miles Morales. Give me Miles. I want to see Miles in the
They
MCU.
are doing the Spider-Verse eventually. They will do it, and then when Peter
He's been
Parker
in
dies,
two.
Miles
He's been
Morales
in the
will take over.
game. He's been in the game, and he's also been in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I
in the
want to
same
see
year.
him in the MCU. I
Yeah,
want
but if
to
they
see
give it to
him.
you too soon, too much. We want more Peter development.
Yeah, he
Peter's
needs
not
to
had loads of
develop
time to
into
shine.
kind of a leader before he can
Yeah.
do.
He needs to grow into the adult boots before he can, because he has to be like an adult Spider-Man and then die, and then did Miles Morales be like, Miles Morales' uncle, Prowler, he's in Spider-Man Homecoming.
He is, isn't he? He's the guy who Peter
Mentions
interrogates.
Miles. Yeah, Childish Gambino. He mentions his nephew, who is Miles. So Miles does exist in the MCU.
Yeah, and I think they did that as like a teaser as to what to come next. They're like, okay, we know you
Yeah.
guys want this, so we're gonna tell you it's there. We're not gonna do anything with it. No.
Yeah, exactly. We want
You
to
know.
give you that hope that it's gonna happen. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
self-promoting your own film.
Yeah, and what they're gonna do with the newer Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man movie that they're going to have like Scorpion.
Talking about Sinister Six.
Yeah,
I don't know if anything's been confirmed for the next one. It's just
I know. I
filming it.
know. Scorpion has
Scorpion's meant to be in it.
because you see him at the
He's in
end.
Homecoming.
Yeah, you see him at the end in the prison, don't you?
He's got a tattoo.
And you know it's him the second you see it. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a tattoo. It's kind of like, and plus it's that character's name anyway. Matt
Either
Gargan.
that, or they're not gonna do the Sinister Six, but they're gonna do like each movie he fights another member of the Sinister Six,
And then I'll have one team up movie. Yeah.
and then he'll have one team up movie which is either
Yeah.
with him. It'll probably be him and oh god.
Mysterio, Vulture.
Well, yeah, but that's not a team up movie. He's going to be fighting them. It's a team up movie with him and another hero. But I don't know what other hero it would be.
No, I don't think, no, because in the comics it was literally just the Sinister Six versus Spider-Man, and that was like the old balls moment. Like they're just Spider-Man villains. It was Mysterio, Craven, Vulture, Electro was there, but they probably won't use him. Doctor Octopus would be great, but probably Venom. I don't know. Green Goblin, I think it was actually.
And I don't know. I saw this thing. It was I don't know whether you know the YouTube channel New Rockstars. They did
Yes.
a breakdown of what they thought was going to happen, and they it was thinking that they may have maybe bringing back old Spider-Mans from other iterations, not to be Spider-Man, but to be in the movie and use their storyline in the movie.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. So
Spider-Verse.
that, and I think that would be great. Just imagine seeing
That's what
Tobey
everyone wants,
Maguire
I think.
come through a portal where Peter's there, and he's like, "What?"
Yes, I've seen that edited picture. Well, that's where they teased that in Far From Home, where they went Stereo. They were trying to make him out to be a hero, even though we all know he's a villain.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, he's from a different dimension of a multiverse," and then everyone was like, "There's a multiverse."
There
Holy
are other
balls.
Spider-Man, like,
And it was kind of like, but I was just there like, wait, how does Snap how does Snap tear a hole in the dimension? Let's just do anything, like.
yeah.
I didn't believe it for a second. They were teasing it there. They were saying the Spider-Verse is going to happen. Be patient.
Well, the next movie, I don't think we're gonna get another. I think well, obviously we know because of the end of Far From Home that the next Spider-Man movie is gonna be a redemption movie because he was just outed as Peter and his like and good old Mysterio. So he's going to be on the run and trying to redeem himself. So I think there's going to be a whole situation where there is a big fight going down, like a big fight, and Peter wants to get involved and help, but he's not going to be able to because he knows if he goes there, then they're going to hate him for, this whole like
killing Mysterio.
killing Mysterio. So he's not going to go, and then someone's going to get hurt, like someone will get hurt, and then that's when he has his urge to fight again and fight for something, and maybe he'll go to someone else for advice. You know what I would love? Because he's got one more cameo in his next movie as well, hasn't he? I don't know who it is, because obviously Tony's dead, but
The agreement with Sony is that he has to have 2 A-list stars.
now
That's why
what
they
I
had,
think would be a good
Maria
idea, right? Let's get this. Just imagine he goes and visits old Cap. And like in Captain America: The First Avenger, where he goes to the Hydra base and frees all the captives and brings them back. Like even the sergeant was like, "No, you can't. You're never going to be able to do that." And then he just goes and does it. I think because obviously Tony's dead now, so he doesn't have him to look up to, and I think we're going to get a very like old man kind of enthusiasm kind of look from old Cap, where it's like, redemption can be hard, but people are always willing to change. And then that's when he's like gonna go, okay, right, I've visited it, but I don't know because what other A-list star would he have?
Literally just has to be a
Falcon?
cameo. Like last one they used Nick Fury. And it was
Yeah.
revealed that Nick Fury was on that bloody Skrull ship or
Maybe
whatever.
Falcon, because I know they have like a rocky relationship in the
Could
movies.
be Falcon and Bucky. You eat them both in because Falcon and the Winter Soldier's the thing.
And they will give him a selfless promotion of being like, oh look, this movie's coming out, you know. But
Oh, then it could be them hanging it out with Cap or whatever. But I think if that kind of redemption thing was to happen, it would visit Tony's grave.
oh yeah,
Only
yeah.
because they want to drive that relationship to hell and really punch you in the face with the feels.
Yeah.
When the first trailer Far From Home came out and Pete was like crying or whatever, all the fans would just lapped it up because
It's
they
like
were only in like 3 films together, and somehow people seem to think they've known each other for years and whatever.
well,
Endgame
yeah,
was like
yeah.
3 years after Civil War. It's like we still care about the relationship so much.
Like that relationship, obviously, the second they met in Homecoming, like that's the instance everyone was like, okay, this is big. This is like, okay, you've got
Basically, Uncle Ben.
this is gonna be a very very good relationship between these guys, and then it was instantly, it was like, Endgame, what? You know,
It was Infinity War and then Endgame was the ones that were in together.
and then they were like, for some reason in that space, it was like, oh, I've only just met you, Spider Guy, have this
Oh, we're
suit,
best mates.
and then like in the space of 2 movies, it was like, oh shit, right, oh my god, ow,
Like a son to me.
you know. So I keep seeing it on
Yeah,
air that Jack's just stayed quiet for a while.
Jack, what's your opinion on Spider-Man,
What's your
mate?
opinion on Spider-Man?
No.
I mean, he's a pretty good hero. That's about it, really.
He's got a lot of room to grow. I know that.
Yeah, the
That-
first
What about him?
the first 2 Spider-Man films are okay. The third one is a bit iffy. I don't really like both the Amazing Spider-Man films. I think Andrew
Oh, what
Garfield
about Sam Raimi?
Mm.
is just not really the right person to play.
Pretty.
And then
Pretty.
the new Spider-Man, I think, is like, the good one.
Right age.
Yeah, my general thing is
Pretty.
that with the first Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, I think it is, and I think maybe no, it was 1, 2, and 3, and then Amazing Spider-Man was Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. But
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tobey Maguire was great only because he gave us such good like well, I put it as Spider-Man lines. Like you will always remember the scene where he held a train back, and always remember the scene when he put on the symbiote suit and was walking around doing like the dance as emo Peter Parker, my nickname from Year 8. And I think Andrew Garfield, yes, he was like he had the emotional side, but the movies just didn't pan out the way that everyone wanted, like at
They were
all.
trying to make like a really dark Spider-Man story, like a Batman kind of thing, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
I think he was too cocky. Like he was like, he's a pretty boy and cocky, and it's like that's not Peter Parker. Peter Parker's like ugly and like wants to die. Like,
And
the
I
character.
think there's main differences between them all. Is that obviously with Tobey Maguire, the web actually came out of him, which people were like, the hell. So then in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, they made it so he made his web shooters, which took on his like tech side as well.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but I like the movies, but not the storyline, if you understand what I mean. The storyline
I
of
like
the
how
movies.
witty Andrew Garfield is because he makes it funny and enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's just not a good Peter Parker.
He's just not the character. Like simply.
No.
And I think it is my point. If they made the first Spider-Man with Tom Holland, if it was Tom Holland and there were no other iterations of Spider-Man, they told the origin story of Spider-Man with Tom Holland, it would have been so much better, and they would not made another iteration. Like, they wouldn't have needed to, because I would personally, I know everyone was like, oh, we've already seen the origin twice, we don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
I would personally love to see the origin of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like he just started
Yeah,
out
but-
and he's like, "Oh, Spider-Man."
Yeah, but he
The
doesn't.
reason we did it is because we
There's
already
been so
know.
many origin stories that Tom Holland's the need one. Everyone knows the
I can
origin
assume
of.
what's
Yeah, I
happening.
know. This is just like a personal thing. I would have loved to seen it, to
Mm.
see it, just because it was so much of a buzzkill. Like when I first went to watch it, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." Obviously, I'd seen the trailers, but I was still kind of expecting somewhat of a backstory.
Mm.
But then it just it didn't. We didn't get anything. It was
It
like
wasn't
the spider's
fussed.
dead, Ned, and that's it.
It wasn't really too fussed, just because. If you did a film of it, like I'd like to see it, obviously, like everyone likes to see it. But if you made a film of it, it would have felt like a waste of my time. Like, I've seen it twice.
Yeah,
Seen this
yeah.
film
Yeah.
twice.
That's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
it was
You
if
want
it
to
was
release
on
like
its
a
own,
video or something, or a
yeah,
TV
yeah.
show,
If
that's
right,
fine.
Disney
Take
Plus.
it away.
If that is something we need to pitch to Disney, I will email Disney and be like, "Yo, can we like get Spider-Man origin?" No, they would never respond anyway.
Right,
But
fuck off.
no, like
No, they-
if they
their
did that, it'd be
take on it
great.
would be, you've got two Spider-Man origin stories. What's the matter
That's
with
the
that?
origin. You know the
Yeah.
information. Here it
You know
is.
the
I know, but
origin.
it's not
You
it's
need
not
an
the story that I'd want to hear. It's the
Yeah, we know,
actor
but Disney wouldn't
playing
see it
it.
that way.
Yeah,
Well,
but
my
that's not
camera
what
is
Disney
just
care
freaking
about.
out.
You've had the origin twice.
Mm.
They see it as pointless to do it again because you know the origin of Spider-Man.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. I just
On balls deep with the Hollands.
maybe not all of it. Maybe not like the whole kit and boodle, like seeing Uncle Ben, like seeing all that, because that's like what it's not really the. I would rather see some of it, like maybe actually see him die, but not like the whole like changing like, oh, I've been bitten overnight, changing like they did in, was that Tobey Maguire?
They did in Spider-Man.
But
In both of
Like
them.
toothpaste and breaks the tap and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. My favorite part of both the original Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man was when he was in school, when he was actually dealing with things in school, because in the first one when he got into a fight and absolutely bossed the fight, you sat there and went, "Holy shit, I want to do that." Like I want to be able to do that, And then in the Amazing Spider-Man, they were it was a basketball, and he
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and had it in his hand, and he's like, "Well, come take it," and then swapped it to the other hand. Apparently, he
and
has
breaks the hoop.
for some reason he has near super speed in that version. So, oh well. But
I know.
I love like
You
that
tried
bit where they
to,
were
but
facing with common problems that weren't for Spider-Man, but it made it look fucking glorious.
That's the charming part of Spider-Man, but that's the problem. Tom Holland's Spider-Man exists with like a bunch of crazy stuff. It
Mm.
begins to feel like all these high school problems that he faces, which we like, don't matter because it's kind of like, well, we've got Avengers level threats here, and we don't care about him facing against bullies and whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with starting him off so late into the MCU, because he joined the MCU when they were at such a high point, because that was
Age of
after
Ultron.
the first Avengers and Age of Ultron, so they already knew who Thanos was and what he was doing at that point, and because like anyone from the comics knows that the second Thanos is involved, it's like, okay, he's going after the stones, like that's
Well,
that's
he's been involved in it since Avengers 1.
yeah, exactly. So he joined at such a point where it was so up in
Problems
the
don't matter
air.
to you.
It was like, okay, high school is not his concern. Like, if this was done with the other iterations of Spider-Man, they would have already had 2 movies, and then they could have been on the big stuff. But Tom was just thrown in. It was like, okay, your character's been hopped in with a bunch of crap that a teenager should never deal with.
It's the problem when he exists with other superheroes as well, where it's kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, like what he says in Far From Home, he's like, why am I left to deal with Mysterio? Like, not Mysterio, all these like elementals or whatever. He's like, well, where's Doctor Strange? Where's Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Where's, it's like there's other people that can deal with this crap.
In Homecoming, he's 15, isn't he? He says that to Tony.
Yeah, he says I'm 15.
And it's
15
like
in Homecoming, 16 in Infinity War.
he's 15 when he joins, and yet he's joined in a point where Thanos has already appeared in like 2 movies.
Yeah, he was in. Yeah.
Like, how is he gonna deal with that? Like, it didn't
Yeah,
seem
well,
it didn't
he
seem
died
right.
at 16 in Infinity War and then came back to life, and now he's technically like 22 or something, aren't now?
But he's also not
Yeah, I
like.
like that. There's that thing in Far From Home where Flash asks for a beer or somewhere, and he's like drinking it on the plane. And
Mm,
MJ goes like, "Oh, well, he's 16 in blip age or something. Like he's not actually
yeah, yeah.
21 yet. Well, he is technically 21, but he's still 16." And I'm like, that's a really good way of dealing with it. 'Cause I always thought, well,
Yeah. I think
as
that
the age
fixed a
grows,
major plot hole as well. Oh god,
yeah,
because
do people stay the age they were, or
or do they join back later? It we need to figure out. Well, I say we need to figure out as if we're gonna figure it out ourselves. But when the where do they go? Where did they go? They got snapped away. Where did they go?
you one of these like Soul Stone people that think they went into the Soul Stone or
No,
whatever?
no.
Yeah, but he
I
says,
think they
doesn't he?
just
Because he
literally
said
died.
he dusted and then he was asleep and then he woke up and then Doctor Strange said it was time to go. So however long he was gone for, he didn't
I
know
think he was
that that's
literally
what happened
didn't
because as
exist.
soon as he
He was
woke
just
up, it was
gone.
time to go back.
Do you think he was actually dead and then the snap just brought him back to life?
Yeah, for him, it would have been like 10 minutes different. It would have been like, died, he
Yeah,
woke up,
Yeah.
final battle was happening. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's 5 years later? What?
yeah.
He
That
was just
that bit
black.
to me is rather mad. It has been like that time jump, that amount of time.
I didn't think Marvel would do it. I didn't think they'd do it. I was like, Marvel won't go 5 years into the future. And then they did, and I was like,
It's like
Mm.
it's
we've got
such
to.
a big difference because they got snapped away and then they were just like, we'll just sit and do fuck all for like 5 years then, won't we? Like
What could they do, in all fairness?
do exactly what they did in when
Didn't know
they
about the
came back
quantum
anyway.
realm.
I know,
Yeah, but
but
they
Know
was
about
all
the quantum.
doing their own. They was all doing their own crap, weren't they? Like Hulk was merging himself with Banner, and
They all
Tony was
except
doing fire,
feet.
like
Cap
do you
doing the
think
throwing
they would?
section.
What I would rather have is it if they did like a midpoint between it, where it was like they tried to do something again, and it failed, so it was just like another level that they tried but couldn't, and then they gave up instead of it being like,
Yeah, but
oh gosh darn it,
yeah,
we lost, right? Time to sit in our houses.
They
Like,
did try.
I
They did
understand
try
what
and
you
get the
mean.
quantum.
But if they did that, that'd take away from how big the loss was in Infinity War.
yeah,
Exactly. They went through 5 years of having to accept the fact that all these people are dead. Tony settles down as a kid. They all
Mm.
rebuild their life. Then
Mm.
it's kind of like, oh, the chance to get it all back. Okay, that's
If
what makes
yeah,
Endgame
yeah.
nice.
yeah,
It's like,
if they had tried
they're
something
dead.
between Infinity War and Endgame, it'd just take away how bad
Take away a
the
lot from
events,
Yeah.
the loss of Infinity War was.
Plus, they could try and get the gauntlet from Thanos, but obviously, he used the stones to destroy the stones, or whatever he says.
Mm.
Well, right. So you know how there's like a lot of plot holes. Like there are a lot of plot holes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I yes, yeah, I have got my mouse on screen right now. I'm going to Google something, and it's something I don't know whether you guys have seen. I keep hitting my mic. In the final battle, it zooms out. You can see all of the portals open. Apparently, Cap's shield is fully repaired in that shot.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Like it's fully repaired,
Okay.
and I'm sort of sitting like, why? Why is it fully repaired? That shouldn't be a thing.
That scene
Also-
might have been made before they filmed the scene where it broke.
Also,
You got to.
how does
Optical.
Thanos' sword actually?
It's like it's made of Thor's hammer's material. It's like Uru or something.
Yeah, Uru or something. Yeah.
Vibranium's the strongest metal on Earth. It's not the strongest metal in the universe.
Mm,
And I also found that with the difference between Mjolnir and Stormbreaker is that Stormbreaker, to put it literally, was just a really, really, really heavy axe. It wasn't. It was required the strongest will, but it basically just means you needed to be strong enough to hold it. That's why Thanos was able to hold it. That's why Mjolnir when I saw the scene where Thanos grabs Thor's hand while he's trying to hit him with the axe. He grabs his
doesn't grab-
hand.
Yeah,
He
grabs
doesn't
his
grab
wrist
the
'cause he's not
axe
worthy.
because he can't lift it, so he grabs his hand and pushes it back. Okay, it's lagging a bit, and I don't know why. So I'm gonna fix this real quick. Get out of my way. Get out. Thank you.
Yeah, but Cap does wield Stormbreaker though because they switch.
Yeah. And that's also
Very
one of
weird
the other
thing,
plot holes is that he's basically saying has the strongest will or has a strong enough will to hold Stormbreaker. Basically, he's just strong. Like
I
he's
didn't.
just
No, anyone can hold Stormbreaker. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Like
yeah.
anyone can pick up Stormbreaker. With
Because
Groot's arm.
Yeah,
There's
because
no enchantment on it.
it's the enchantment that Odin put on Mjolnir that makes it
yeah. That's what I was just
only
about to
Because
say. Yeah.
he like speaks into it whether they possess the power of Thor.
And
when
that's
he
why
when
like
he
only Thor can hold it apart from Cap.
Vision.
Well,
Yeah, but
as in Age of
Vision
Ultron, oh, is it in Age of Ultron? It is, isn't it? The end of Age of Ultron. As
Vision is a good person though.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't think
That's what Tony and Cap were saying, and that's
Yeah, elevator's
he's.
not worthy.
yeah.
But it would.
I mean,
That
he's
is
a
true.
person,
It would still go up, but nobody's holding
Yeah,
it.
he's a person, but he's not a person. Like he's not a normal person. So
He
No.
has got
doesn't really-
cells. It's a weird thing. He's literally made out of
Yeah,
skin
but
cells, but
they're not
his
skin
internals
cells.
are
They're
AI.
like
They are. They're artificial skin cells.
yeah.
Because remember, he's made from that kind of thing.
Hmm.
It,
Yeah.
it scans cells and then multiplies them. It's really so he's made
Well-
of skin, but his internals are just like computerized. It's really
Yeah.
really weird.
His brain is like a shitload of relays and stuff.
That's
Yeah,
mad to think about.
artificial neurons.
Yeah.
Which is quite literally where we're coming to in human evolution anyway.
Yeah,
That is what we're
like
getting. And it's
Infinity
like
War when they like dissected him. I was like, that's so
of
sick.
everyone, the closest superhero that we're like that actually has a genuine power that we're close to replicating is Vision. Like obviously Black Widow doesn't count, neither does Hawkeye, because neither of those have powers. Of every
mean,
one of
Hawkeye
the
kind
Marvel heroes,
Yeah.
Vision is the one we're closest to as humans, which is mad
Yeah,
because
but
we have
not the full
robots.
extent of Vision.
Well, I
Because
didn't
we
know that.
don't. We have an Iron Man suit. We don't
We have
have
nothing
anything
to
to
power it,
it.
yeah. But if it's
It's the
a
thing. Same as Vision.
if it's a robot, you don't have the human, like there's no human in it, so there's a lot more room to add electronics and power. Whereas if it's a human, you can't just stick a battery up your bum and it'll be fine. Though,
Yeah, but we're nowhere near close to the capabilities of Vision.
Well, obviously, but if we're closer to what I'm saying is we're closer to Vision than we are to
Close
anyone else.
building a vision, not having a vision.
You can fly. You can make capes with his
Well,
mind.
those bits maybe not, but and the artificial intelligence, yeah.
History matter.
Oh yeah.
And we can create skin cells. We can. That is something we can do. It's
Yeah.
Oh, I've got hiccups. Damn it.
Any cell with stem cells.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, but that's unethical, isn't it? 'Cause it
I have to
kills.
take babies from people to do that.
yeah. Right. We are coming up. It has been over an hour now.
I'm to
And we've been talking about Spider-Man and Marvel for like
yeah.
50 minutes.
Well, I mean, if you guys have any comment your favorite, your favorite movies, your points, we'd love to hear them anyway. I check the comments literally all the time. And well, I mean, we've had Jack here. Jack, you want to say in a bit?
In a bit.
Has left the building.
Adam?
Yeah, in a bit.
In a bit, guys.